Welcome back to Prison Yard TV. So today I'm trying a whole bunch of things different. I told you guys yesterday in a short that my laptop, it froze up, something happened. I don't know exactly what happened to it. I gotta go get a new laptop. But in the meantime, a few individuals that have YouTube channels told me that they record their YouTube videos off of their phone. I've never done it before. I always record off of my laptop with a 35 millimeter camera. So today I'm trying it off my phone. I'm gonna see how it turns out. All my videos, if you go look back at my videos, they're all done live. So this one is actually recorded now and I'm gonna put it out later so I can edit it. They told me it's better for the algorithm if you actually record a video. So as you can see, the thumbnail is when I got packed out. Now let me give you a little backdrop of what led up to this. So I had a 15-year, 8-month sentence. I repeated it over and over throughout my videos. And finally, when I'm about to go home, the last year they sent me to CMC East. They sent me to CMC East, and I've been there before, and I only lasted like 40 days the first time I was there. I don't like CMC East. However, they had just released all the people from Pelican Bay shoes. We did a whole hunger strike. We got them guys out of the shoes, and they was sending them all over the California prison system to different yards. So before I got to CMC East, I got wind that some of the individuals coming out of these shoes were either on these yards at CMC East or headed to these yards. So I figured, let me go try it out. It might be different this time. As everyone knows, CMC East back in the day was deemed a soft prison. It was no good for Northerners or Southerners back in the days. And that's why they sent all the celebrities. Trady from the East Siders was there. Robert Downey Jr. was there, the Onion Field Killer. So celebrities, it was a known soft celebrity prison. So that was back in the days. And I heard it was cracking before I got there. So I get there, they send me to A Yard. I get to A Yard, I want to say somewhere in the beginning or middle, the beginning of 2017. So I get to CMC probably the very beginning of 2017, maybe even the end of 2016, because I was there a little over a year, and I paroled March 18th, 2018. So I was there probably a year and a few months. So I get there, and sure enough, it's changed. It's more stricter. There's politics going on. People are politicking on the yard. I get there. They take me to committee. A Yard was full, and they was trying to single cell it. The cells are so small there. They was trying to make the whole institution a single cell institution. And these cells at CMC are like no other in California. They're you got the key to your cell. You could go in and out as you please all day long. They got a yard shack on the yard. You get funny money. You can buy ice cream, sodas, chips, snacks all day long. In that aspect, it was cool. I was on A Yard for the first 4 months, maybe 5 months. And they needed space because these buses were coming from all these level 4s. They was bringing all these level 4 individuals to CMC. And the reason, because their policy changed. And if you had 300 points on a level 4 and you've been on a level 4 a long time, they was giving you action at being clean, not getting a 115 for I think a year. And they was letting level 4s get overrided to level 3 institutions. So they was bringing a lot of level 4s to CMC East A Yard. So after the riot, we had a riot, and I want to say I looked it up before and I did a video on it. There was a riot and one of our homeboys got killed. He was NC, was Northern Crip from Stockton, and he got stabbed with a broomstick through his stomach, and he got killed during this riot. It was blacks against Southsiders, and I forgot what it was for. So after the riot, they wanted to clear a lot of people out, and they were sending people to C Yard. Now, C Yard at this time was known for triple CMS inmates. And what I mean by triple CMS, it was like not EOP. EOP is we call it extremely out of pocket because it's like people go there that's really crazy or people try to act crazy. That's the EOP yard, and that was D yard. So the EOP was D yard, C yard was triple CMS, B yard was the whole and general population, and A yard, it wasn't even yards, they was quads, A quad was all general population. So they wanted to make room for these people coming from level 4 institutions. So they sent one whole building from A yard over to C yard and made it a GP building. I just happened to be one of the individuals to go over there. So I get over there and there's 10 of us that are Northern Crips. And we programmed. Now, mind you, I was the only one on CR when I got there with the phone besides one other person. And the other person, I'm going to do a video. My next video is going to be on this individual. His name is Lunatic Frank from Rolling 60s. He's an older cat in his 60s. He's been down a long time. He got a life sentence. And he's one of the first generation Rolling 60s, along with Pretty Boy and a couple MD. You know, so this individual, he has weight. So I've been knowing this cat for a number of years. So I get over to the C Yard and he's there. He has a flip phone. Well, I have a smartphone and I think I had a Galaxy something at the time. And a lot of people over there will rent your phone for $100 a night. And they'll give you 100 ducats, Yard Shack ducats, and that's $100. So when I get over there, I rent my phone probably like 2 or 3 times a week. Well, Lunatic Frank always wants to rent my phone out because he got a flip phone and he wants to take care of whatever he's taking care of. And what I found out later is he was, you know, using it to watch videos and shit. So when I get to C Yard, everything's running smooth. And I got one individual that's a little bit younger than me, this helping me run the yard as far as NCs. His name is Tone from Stockton, but he turned out to be a scamless cat. He was from South Mob. Anyways, there was 10 of us there when I first got there. And everything ran smooth. For the whole year I was there, a little over a year, everything ran smooth. I think we had maybe 3 incidences where the homies got in a fight with a couple cats. We had to roll someone up from San Jose that got there. There was a J cat. But other than that, it was going smooth. So what happened was, I'm going to try to keep this video as short as possible. Maybe 2 months before I was going home, probably in January of 2018, we get a cat from Salinas Valley. He came from Salinas Valley. I want to say his name is AB, and he's from Salinas. He's actually from Salinas, and he's a Crip. He's a Northern Crip, and he's been down 24 years. He's a little bit younger than me. When he got there, he immediately tried to manipulate his way into running the yard. I wasn't having that. Even though he's been down a long time, he had a lot of knowledge. He was laced right, but he politicked too hard on the homies. And what I mean by that is there was an incident with a cat from Stockton, and instead of consulting with everybody else, he took it upon himself. AB did, from Salinas. He's Key Loom's big homie. If you guys know who Key Loom is, I already confirmed with Key Loom. He knew the cat. So this cat took it upon himself to DP a homie for not doing his exercises off another DP. He tried to make this dude run 50 laps and do thousands of push-ups and pull-ups and work out all day for 2 days for another DP, and he didn't actually finish his DP, so he ended up taking him in the cell and beating him up. And we don't do it like that. You got to confirm with the whole car before you take it upon yourself and just DP somebody like that. And what I mean by DP, discipline. So he took this young cat, in the cell and beat him up because he didn't finish his DP on time. So we all got together, we talked about it, and we told dude, he can't do that. And I thought everything was fine. So like I said, he got there maybe 2, maybe even 3 months before I was going home. He might have got there in December 2017. I went home in March. So me and this cat got kind of cool. We used to work out together. We used to walk laps together. We used to go on my cell. He could use the phone. I used to put him on the phone. I used to let him keep the phone overnight sometimes just on GP because he was a homie. So about a month before I was going home, there was when I first got there, it was only me and Ty Stick from 29th Street and TG, Tiny Greedy, from 29th Street. But he also claimed he was cut. He also claimed About That Action, BTA, from 30 Gang. He was a star / 29th Street. And you guys already know how I feel about cut individuals. And what I mean by cut, I mean people that are from 29th Street, but they also claim stars. That's called cut to me. But TG was cool. And, I was with TG every day, and I laced him as his first term. I think he had 10 years to do. And I really liked TG a lot, Tiny Greedy. So Ty Stick ended up paroling after 20 years. He went home. So now it's only me, TG, and these other 8 individuals from various places, Modesto, Merced, Stockton, Sacramento, various Northern Crips there. And I think there was about 10 or 11, maybe 11. So this individual that came AB from Salinas, and he was from Salinas, he kind of was like I don't want to say bully, but I'm going to say bully. He was kind of like a bully, and he kind of like expected the little homies to do too much. And what I mean by too much, this yard wasn't like New Folsom, where I just came from. It wasn't a politicking yard like that. It was a level 3, and it was a serious yard. There was serious incidents there. Like I said, one of our homies got killed in a riot on a yard when I was over there. So it was a serious yard, but the way he was pushing was like he would find shit to try to DP homies for him, and I wasn't having that. So we bumped heads a couple times. So now let's get to, I got to give you the story about me and a cat from Merced. He was a youngster. He was 21 years old. I can't think of his handle, man. He was a tall, skinny, dark-skinned cat, and he looked like a black-ass lizard. That's what I used to call him, lizard. But that wasn't his name. Anyway, me and this cat, we didn't care for each other. And, we had words. He would basically, what the problem was with him, not just with me, with the whole car, is he would kick it with, the majority of his time on the yard, he would kick it with Fresno cats and Bakersfield cats, and he'd work out with them, play ball with them, which wasn't a problem, but at least come check in with your homies once a day, say what's up, tell us what's going on with you. That's what our protocol is. When you come to the yard, come over to the circle, say hi, shake everyone's hand, then go do your thing, go work out, play. But he didn't even do that. So a lot of people was kind of on his helmet about that. And so I spoke up on it. And me and him had a couple words, and that happened twice. And that happened before AB got there. So fast forward. So I'm 30 days to the house. I go to TG, which is from 29th Street. He's the only homie I got there on that yard from 29th Street. And I tell him, he's kicking it real tough with a cat named Cutthroat from Fresno, which also claimed NC. A lot of Fresno cats run with the Fresno car, But Cutthroat rode with us in C. And TG and him was inseparable. And I like these two cats a lot. So I told TG and Cutthroat, I'm like, look, cuz, I'm going home next month. If you guys want my phone, put together $500 and I'm gonna give you this phone. Now, mind you, phones at CMC were so scarce. You could get a phone if you waited 4 or 5, maybe 6 months. They came once, maybe twice a year, and it was $4,000. You wasn't getting a phone for less than $4,000. But you could make your money back off it by renting it out. And I knew that. So I could sell the phone right now before I went home for $4,000 to anybody on the yard. A lot of people wanted my phone. So I told TG, I told Cutthroat, man, if you guys want this phone. And matter of fact, I told them this 4 months before I went home. I gave them 4 months. And I told them this before AB got there. And this all plays into how I got. I said packed out on my thumbnail, but it really was that I didn't get packed out. They tried to jump me. And it didn't go too well for none of us. And I'll get to that. So I told TG and Cutthroat I was going home. If they wanted my phone, to get $500 together, get it on a green dot, give it to me, and I'll leave them my phone. And I mean, it was a simple, you couldn't go wrong buying my phone for $500, especially to my homie. I could have left it to him, but I wanted him to, he was a kid, and I know he had a girl, he had money coming in every month, and so did Cutthroat. So I knew they had the money. So I told them ahead of time, they told me they wanted the phone. So AB gets there 2 or 3 months before I went home, dude from Salinas. Came from a level 4 yard, been on a level 4 yard for the last 20 years. He gets there, like I said, he DP'd the homie. Me and him bumped heads once or twice, but not really bumped heads. But I really liked this cat. We walked every day. Me and him was like this every day. So about 3 weeks before I was going home, me and him took a lap, and he was making comments. He made a comment to me like, man, dog, I feel like hurting somebody. And I'm like, damn, what's going on with you? What do you mean you feel? He's like, man, I feel like hurting somebody. I'm like, well, shit, what's holding you back? Hurt him. And he just kind of giggled, and that was it. That was, he just said that, and it was like a subliminal message. And I didn't know it at the time until I went to the hole that he was really directing that comment towards me because he wanted the phone. And I told him when he got there after I already told TG and Cutthroat they could get the phone, I already told him, look, man, I already told the homies that if they bring me $500, they could get the phone. He's like, man, I want the phone. I said, well, I already told Cutthroat and TG they could get the phone. And he kept telling me he wanted the phone. And I'm like, look, man, talk to TG. I'm not going to go back on my word to my homie from 29th Street that I told him he could get the phone. And now this cat comes and he thinks he can get the phone. It wasn't going to happen. So I don't know if he talked to Cutthroat or TG at this time. So I still let him use the phone nightly, not every night, maybe twice a week. I let him keep it in the cell. He was in my same building. He was on the same tier, but he was across on A section and I was in B section. So anyway, I was supposed to parole on March 16th. That was my release date. I didn't end up paroling until March 18th, but March 16th was my release date. So on March 9th, I believe it was a Sunday because it was a football day. It was football day, so I believe it was a Sunday. No, it wasn't. It wasn't football. I think it was basketball season. They wasn't playing football. It was Sunday. Well, it was a Sunday anyway. I don't know what sports was going on because I was always betting on the tickets. Everyone had tickets we used to bet on. So Sundays, every day I didn't go to breakfast at CMC at all. So everyone went to breakfast. I get up in the morning, clean up my cell. I'm in the cell by myself. I got a single cell. At the time, Lunatic Frank had rented my phone the night before. So he has my phone. When I rent my phone, I usually go second yard and go get my phone from whoever rented it from. And second yard was probably around 10 o'clock. First yard was 8:30. On the weekends, I think it was 8 o'clock. So I always make arrangements ahead of time to go out on second yard, pick up my phone. Lunatic Frank was in the other building. He was in 6th building, and I think I was in 7th building, or the other way around on C yard. Yeah, maybe I was in 8th building. There's only 2 buildings there. I forget. So anyway, Sunday morning, I get up, clean up and shit, and I don't go to yard first yard, but the first unlock, I want to go downstairs and get my snacks from the yard shack. So normal Sunday, go downstairs, get in the yard shack line. It's a long ass line, and I'm standing in line, and this is 1 week before I'm supposed to parole. I'm already on S time. S time is when you're 10 days to the house, you stop working. They make you stop working, and you just kick back for your last 10 days and you go home because they don't want you going to work, getting in trouble at work. So I was on S time. I was already on S time, so it was 7 days before I was going home, supposedly going home on March 16th. So I'm in this canteen line, the yard shack line. AB walks up to me, and he's in front of me. He's like, "Dog, what are you getting? What are you getting from canteen?" And I tell him. He's like, "Hey, did you hear Capone's here?" Now, I did a video about Capone. Capone from North Highlands is the one that I got into it with at Susanville. The one little dog wanted to stab at Vacaville. There's paperwork out on this cat, and it's a green light on him wherever he goes. So he came up to me. He's like, "Hey, did you hear Capone's here?" I said, "Well, shit, you guys better get on him. I'm going home next week. You guys, handle your business. Get on him." And he said something. As soon as he said something, he spun and started jogging away. And it was odd to me. Soon as he turned his back to me, I get hit in the back. Big in the back of the head. I turn around to square up, and it's the same cat that I got into it with, that I told you earlier in the video, that goes and works out with Fresno cats and Bakersfield cats. He was a tall, skinny, dark-skinned cat, and he looked like a black-ass lizard. He's the one that fired on me from behind. So when he fired on me, it caught me on surprise. It caught me by surprise. I turned around, and me and him go big blow for blow. Well, I get hit again. Boom, on this side. Well, when I get hit on this side, the cat I'm fighting grabs this arm, and this cat hits me again in the neck, and me and this cat fall to the ground. We're on the ground, and I get on top of him, but I'm getting hit. I'm getting hit in the head, but I just want to make sure I take one with me, right? I'm not processing what this is about yet, but I do know that the 2 cats I'm fighting are from my car, from the NC car. So I do know that, so I'm trying to hurt this individual. And when I'm on him, I hear the alarm go off. Now, mind you, whenever I get in a fight, especially in prison, I get this tunnel vision, and it's weird. It's like, it ain't that I black out, but it's like I have tunnel vision and everything is in slow motion. So while I'm on this cat and I'm getting hit, I hear the alarm go off, and then I hear a gunfire. Boom. The first gunfire lands right to my right, and dirt kicks up. So I know as much dirt that flew up, I knew that was Big Bertha. And Big Bertha is a 40 millimeter. It shoots rubber bullets, and these rubber bullets will break bones. I've seen people get their eyes knocked out, their face caved in. I've seen people get broken arms. This thing does damage. So I heard the first shot, and it landed by me. So as soon as I heard the first shot, I'm thinking this guy behind me that's hit me is going to quit. He grabs me like in a headlock, and I flip over on my side, but I got this cat, and when I let that cat go, they shoot again and hit me right here on top of on the outside of my elbow. And I felt it. It really stung the shit out of me, but my adrenaline's going. So when I go to swing on the cat that I got on the ground, this arm is limp. Bam, I get hit right here on the side of the head. Bam. And that's the last thing I remember. When I woke up, I had a nurse with the they break this thing. I don't know what it is. It's ammonia or something. They break it under your nose, and she's like, wake up, and she's touching my face, and I wake up, but I'm handcuffed, and they got me on my side, and they got this thing under my nose, and all I know is my arm is throbbing. I ain't even knowing about my head. I know I got blood all over here, right here, and I'm not comprehending what's going on. So they take me to the cage. They walk me over to the, I could walk. They stand me up. They take me over to the cage. I didn't get sprayed. I don't know why they didn't spray us, but we didn't get sprayed. We got shot though. I got shot twice. And it was the third time I got shot with the block gun. And this time hurt the most, maybe because I was older. The first time I got shot, I was 20 years old. The second time I was 36 years old. Now this time, I'm 40, in my mid 40s when I got shot. And it was painful as hell. This was my arm. Oh, and also, I don't know how this happened. See this finger? It got either stepped on or it got hit with the block gun, but this finger was broke. And it will never be see how this one is? It's different. So this happened, got shot in the head, got shot here. So I get to the cages. When I get to the cages, the sergeant and lieutenant and a goon squad comes out. And for some reason, now I've been at this prison over a year. For some reason, they thought that I was BGF. They thought I was JAMA. And I have no idea why, but I've never been mistaken for being BGF or JAMA. It's not in my C file that I didn't think it was. But when I got there, they take pictures of your tattoo. And this tattoo right here, this tattoo actually represents BGF. Unbeknownst to me, when the tail's on the left and the dragon's head's on the right and it's spitting fire, that's a sign of JAMA BGF. So when the lieutenant came over there, he's like, what was that about? And you know, automatically you don't say nothing to the cops about anything. I'm like, don't know, do your investigation. He's like, well, why would two Crips jump on a JAMA cat, a BGF? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, come on, Jefferson. We know you're JAMA. We know you're BGF. We knew that when you got here. And maybe because a lot of people was let out the hole when I came from a level 4, 180, he thought that and he's seen the tattoo. They marked it down. I have no idea. So we all three go to the hole. We go to the hole, and the first cat that hit me that I got into it months before, he was on my vent upstairs. And one day I heard him talking. I was in the hole 3 days before I heard him talking. And I already got my ride up. So when you go to the hole for a fight, they tell you if you want to sign a marriage chrono with the individuals you got into it with. And if you guys all three signed the marriage chrono, you go back to the yard. Well, I signed the marriage chrono, but the other two individuals wouldn't. And being that I was going home in 7 days, they was like, we're not letting you back to the yard. I wanted to go back to the yard so bad. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I wasn't upset with the two individuals that jumped on me. But I was going, if they would have let me back to the yard, I wouldn't have came home. I was going to stab AB and I was going to beat up TG. First of all, TG's my homie from my neighborhood. And for them to do that, they had to, everyone from NC had to know what was going to happen. TG should have came to me and told me what was going to happen, and I'd have dealt with it, but he didn't. So I had a real problem, more so with TG than anyone else. I talked to him since I came home, and he told me, you know, he gave me some sad ass story about he couldn't have told me because then he would have been DP'd or whatnot. That ain't how it goes. If he'd have told me, I'd have stabbed AB off the dribble. He'd have got stabbed, I wouldn't have came home. If I'd have known they was gonna do that, I would have stabbed AB and we just would have both went to the hole. That's what would have happened. So come to find out, I talked to old boy through the vent when we was in the hole, and he was apologizing. I mean, like almost crying, apologizing. He's like, dog, man, AB, he sent us to do that. And he told us that you sold the phone to the Hoover car and to the blood car, you sold your phone to two different groups, and you was gonna leave us in a wreck because you sold your phone twice to two different cars, which was straight bullshit. I didn't even sell my phone. The phone was gonna be held until someone brought me the money. Now, I told TG 3 months prior, I told Cutthroat, and I told AB, so the first one to bring me $500 to get the phone. They didn't bring me $500. So I did tell the Bloods that I messed with these Bloods gambling, that if they brought me $3,500, they could get the phone. And they was going to buy the phone if the homies didn't come. But I didn't tell nobody else. And whoever was going to bring me the money first was going to get the phone. I wasn't going to sell it to 2 or 3 different cars. That's stupid shit. I didn't have to do that. I had money. I had hella money when I was at CFC. Before I paroled, I had hella money. So the money wasn't the issue. But this cat AB made up this fictitious ass story and told the homies he found out that I sold my phone to 2 different cars and I was going to leave them in a wreck. So that's how he came up. That's how he got the homies to jump me so he could end up keeping the phone, which he did. I never went and got my phone back from Lunatic Frank, the one that rented my phone the night before, and he ended up going back to get it, right? This is what happened. So them individuals did sign the marriage contract. They kept me in the hole. On the 14th of March, they came to me. They came in my cell to tell me. First, they heard my 115 hearing. I went to my 115 hearing. They found all 3 of us guilty, but because I was going home, they suspended. I think they gave us 15 days or 30 days. It was a Division F. They gave us whatever the time they gave us on the 115. They suspended. So I thought. So I was going home on the 16th, right? On the 14th, they came to my cell and told me the lieutenant that heard my 115 made a mistake. I had 2 more days I owed, and I wasn't going home till the 18th. Well, mind you, my son already had rented a car to drive down there to pick me up on the 16th. So I was in the hole, and in the hole, you don't supposed to use the phone. But under my circumstances, the sergeant told me, look, man, we're going to let you call your family for 15 minutes. Tell them to don't come pick you up until the 18th. That you're going to be here 2 more days. So that's what happened. So when I get out, I'm still, it's been a week, but my arm is still hella swollen. From the gun hitting me over here, I had a black eye for some reason. I don't know what happened. The individuals that attacked me, they only hit me in the back of the head and my ear. They didn't hit me nowhere in the face. But I had a black ring under here from getting shot in the head with that damn block gun. So listen to this. So when I paroled on the 18th, I paroled from San Luis Obispo, right? Salinas ain't that far from there. So I told my son, let's drive through Salinas. What that cat AB didn't realize was the time he was there, he gave me his father's address, his girlfriend's address, and I knew they lived in Salinas. So leaving prison after doing 9 years, 8 months, I passed by this cat's father's house to find out if that's where he really lived, because I had his father's address. He gave me all this hookup because he didn't know that he was going to do this. So I had all this shit in my property, in my phone book, right? So I found out where his father lived. I didn't end up doing nothing. Then I got a hold of Key Loom. Me and Key Loom's real close. Well, we used to be real close. And I asked him about this individual, and he knew him very well. He was like, he'd been away a long time, and I told him what happened. He was like, man, he's getting ready to get out, which AB is home now. I haven't talked to him, but when I do get a hold of him, if I do see him in traffic, I need that. He knows I need that bad. I need that fade bad. That was a bad call. He did that because he was greedy. He didn't want to pay the $500 for the phone. He did a twist. He pulled a twist on me. And that's the only time, let me think. That is the only time in my whole California department, my whole prison time ever getting jumped by any kind of homies or any kind of Crips. I've never been jumped in prison by no Crips or no homies like that. I've been jumped by the Southsiders, but never once by no Crips. And that right there, that was the end. I paroled and I'm like, fuck NC. I'm not claiming NC. I'm not pushing NC. I'm not fucking with homies that's pushing that shit that's in prison. You could miss me with that shit. When that shit happened, and then I found out they did that shit to the homie Baby Snake. Same thing in Salinas Valley. They pulled that same shit and jumped Baby Snake for his phone. And it's like, motherfuckers nowadays in prison, the rules has changed, man. When I first came to prison, even in the 90s, you would never hear nothing like that happening. Your own homies jumping you right before you go home because they want your phone, man, that I was going to leave to them anyway. That's crazy. So that's my story about getting packed out by the homies before I paroled. Hope you guys enjoyed the story. Look, if you haven't hit that like button, please hit that like button. Also, subscribe to my channel. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, help this channel grow, man. Subscribe, share this, and make comments. All that helps this channel. Also, if you haven't become a member yet, hit that join button. Become a member, man. There's all kind of perks you'll get by spending the $3.99 or $9.99 to become a member of my channel. Thank you for tuning in to the Prison Yard TV. Hope you guys stay blessed. And please tell the people you love them. You might not be tomorrow. We might not wake up tomorrow. So make sure you tell the people you love them today. Have a blessed day.